AGUA Special Utility District, regular called board meeting, October 3rd, 2022, 6:03 p.m. Item number 1, call to order. 1A, roll call, Esmeralda Solis. Present. Maribel Diaz.
Present.
Cesar Rodriguez.
Present.
Ricardo Perez.
Present.
Lloyd Loya.
Present.
Homer Tijerina.
Present.
And Ivan Sandoval.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Item 1B, invocation by Ms. Pam Perez.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today to conduct matters of business for our SUD, may you give us your guidance, wisdom, and knowledge to make the best decisions for the ratepayers and employees. Lord, let this meeting be productive and let your peace surround us today. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Item C, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 1D, public comments.
Yes, Madam President, we do not have any public comment.
Thank you. Item number 2A, approval of minutes for July 11, 2022, our board meeting.
So moved.
I have a motion by Tijerina, and I have a second by Cesar. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water service to be submitted to, oops, I'm sorry. Apologize. Item number 3, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water service to be submitted to Oviedo Garcia for the cost related to water service for Calidad number 2 subdivision.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Milo Salinas with M2 Engineering. So, Calidad subdivision, this is a subdivision that's located along the north side of Pinto Street, approximately 300 feet west of Ozuna Street in the City of Peñitas. The project consists of a residential subdivision of 15 residential lots. It has one existing meter, so the proposed is for 14 meters. We recommend approval.
Milo, and all these subdivisions are part of the water plan, the water model?
So these subdivisions that are being proposed, that are on the agenda, have all been modeled and meet the adequate requirements.
Awesome. So move. Second.
I've got just one thing real quick on the motion here. Because of the fact that there's one meter, that we just found out this evening before the meeting started that there was just one meter that they get credit for. If the board is gonna, if someone's gonna make a motion to approve it, would suggest that it be made subject to a revision of the agreement getting credit for that one meter. So,
Just on that, on item 3?
Just on item number 3. So there wasn't one extra meter that had been paid on phase 1.
Exactly,
correct?
that's right. And so that was not called out on the phase 2 plans.
Okay.
And when it came to our attention this evening, the developer brought it up, I think this evening, or Pam discovered it, I think.
Okay.
And so we just want to make sure that because the contract that we have before you didn't catch that, but we think the board can approve it with that condition, and then we can go ahead and get that agenda item taken care of.
Okay. Mr. Tijerina, you want to read?
I make a motion to approve, but contingent to give a credit to the meter.
Subject to
the meter.
amendment to give credit for that meter.
Amendment to, subject to that meter.
Second.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Tijerina and I have a second by Mr. Loya. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water service to be submitted to Antioco G. Cantu Garza for the cost related to water service for GEO subdivision.
Yes, so this particular subdivision is located along the east side of Nick Dauphin Road, approximately 30 feet north of Jessica Drive in Hidalgo County. The property consists of 7.47 acres, and the developer is proposing 1 commercial lot and 4 residential lots. And this particular subdivision has also been modeled and adequate based on the model results.
Motion to approve item 4?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Loya and a second by Rodriguez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water service to be submitted to El Carrizales LLC for the cost related to water service for Carrizales number 3 subdivision.
This particular property is located on the west side of Iowa Road, approximately 1,200 feet south of Mile 5 in Hidalgo County. The property consists of 24.29 acres, and the developer is proposing 36 residential lots, and this particular subdivision has also been modeled and is adequate based on the model results.
Okay. I have a motion by Tijerina. And I have a second by Sandoval. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water service to be submitted to Jose Luis Salinas for the cost related to water service for Double F subdivision.
This property here is located on the west side of Tom Gill Road, approximately 650 feet north of Diamond Avenue in the City of Peñitas. The developer is proposing 1 commercial lot in 0.5 acres, and this particular subdivision has also been modeled and was adequate based on the results.
Motion to approve. Item 6.
Okay. I have a motion by Loya,
Second.
second by Diaz. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water service to be submitted to Mark Fryer for the cost related to water service for Texan Crossing subdivision.
This property here is located on the southwest corner of Texan Road and Mile 6 intersection within Hidalgo County. The developer is proposing 21 residential lots and encompasses 16 acres, and this particular subdivision was also modeled and is adequate based on the results.
So moved.
I have a motion by Tijerina, and I have a second by Perez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water service to be submitted to Carlos Leal for the cost related to water service for Las Comadres number 11 subdivision.
This property here is located along the west side of Dauphin Road, approximately 320 feet north of Celso Street within Hidalgo County. The property consists of 40.85 acres, and the developer is proposing 49 residential lots, and this particular subdivision has also been modeled and the results were adequate.
So moved.
Milo, before we go, does he have enough pressure, fire protection, all that? I mean, I know we're approving probably today 10 subdivisions. How are we doing on that? I mean,
So there's a hydraulic model that's being worked on by Meldon and Hunt, and they actually modeled each particular subdivision. The ones that are listed here were ones that resulted with adequate fire protection. Even though the district does not provide fire protection, that would be like worst case scenario. And in regards to that, and these particular subdivisions meet the minimum requirements of the state
'cause I know
based
that-
on the model.
Yeah, there are probably some subdivisions in the works that probably are not gonna fail the pressure. And we're
There's-
be ready to, because they're gonna come after us if we don't approve them.
Yeah,
And,
there.
you know.
And that's something that we will have to be dealing with because based on the model, there is 2 subdivisions that so far do not meet the requirements. And what they look at when they're doing the model is to see, okay, if it doesn't meet the requirements, maybe sometimes if you can upsize the line or provide some additional improvements, it may be adequate. So that's something that they'll be looking at.
Cost to the developer.
Correct.
Second.
Okay, so I had a motion by Tijerina, and I have a second by Perez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 9, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water services to be submitted to Juan Jose Garcia for the cost related to water service for Main Estates Apartment Subdivision.
This property here is located along the east side of South Main Street, FM 1427, approximately 340 feet south of Maribel Street within the City of Peñitas. The project consists of 5 acres, and the developer is proposing 18 multifamily lots. This subdivision was also modeled and met the limited requirements by the model.
Second.
I have a motion by Cesar and I have a second by Mr. Perez. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item number 10, discussion and possible action on the amendment to the non-standard service agreement for water service to be submitted to Omar Cantu for the cost related to water services for Benson Cardinal subdivision.
So this property here is located between Bensten Palm Drive and Watson Road and approximately 2,200 feet south of the intersection of Bensten Palm Drive with Business 83. The developer's proposing 6 residential lots, and I believe this is also one that has an existing water meter and is resulting in a credit very similar to the first one. So,
So do we have to do our motion subject to the,
No, no,
Oh,
no.
no?
By making.
It's in the
On
contract.
the previous item,
Oh.
we won't have to do this, next time.
okay.
Okay, so you can, somebody can.
Okay.
Motion to approve item number 10.
Okay, I have a motion by Loya and I have a second by Rodriguez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, discussion and possible action on approval of an order amending the SUD's November 8th, 2022 general election to include the approved Starr County polling locations, dates, and times for early voting and election day.
Madam President, as you and the board are aware, in 2021, our enabling legislation has changed, requiring us to contract with the administrator for each county. Last board meeting in September, we approved the locations, time, and places for the Hidalgo County polling locations and voting centers. This relates only to Starr County, who provided us that information. I think they filed theirs on like August 22nd. And so the resolution before the order here would follow through with our July 11th ordering the election by designating the polling locations in Starr County.
And that's because it will affect our District 7, which is,
I think there are
Sullivan
like
City.
40-something
40-some
registered
registered
Starr
voters in
County
that area.
participate. Used to, they could vote in Hidalgo County, but now they can't.
Okay.
And so we have.
so
to-
just so that they're able to vote in this election and that way they can vote at the Starr County location.
How many meters do we have?
I think it's, I know it's 40 voters, but how many meters do we have out there? How many connections, services?
Oh, the 5 acre lot. I think it was, yeah, I think it was 20 plus.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion to approve item 12?
Okay, so I have a motion by Loya, it's 11.
I'm sorry, item 11.
So I have a motion by Loya and I have a second by Mr. Tijerina. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 12, discussion and possible action on approval of contract agreement for election services with Hidalgo County Elections Administrator.
Madam President, we had, as provided by the Iowa State rules, we have 2 board members request on the consideration of, oh, excuse me.
No.
Nope,
Wrong
wrong.
No, we're,
Yeah.
Got it myself.
Yeah.
This is the contract.
I think our agenda is really close together and we're all just jumping numbers here, but we're
Mr.
good.
Lawyer threw me off.
I think I started that little chain in the very beginning.
I'm always a scapegoat, right?
My apologies. This is the contract with Hidalgo County. So by statute, we're obligated to contract with the county to provide the voting location, all right? That contract that they have provided, the way they set it out, is a cost of $71,460 for every governmental entity that will be participating in the election. That number will be divided up on a percentage basis based on all of the participants. And so I tell you that because I don't want the board to believe that the contract that says 71,000 is going to be 100% responsible.
Right.
We'll just have our pro rata percentage responsibility of that.
Yes, sir. Motion to approve item 12.
Okay, so I have a motion by Loya and I have a second by Tijerina. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item number 13, discussion and possible action on the approval of contract agreement for election services with Starr County Elections Administrator.
Same thing for Starr County.
Okay.
They have a fixed fee for us though. It's $1,700 and some change.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that one is known.
So move.
I have a motion by Tijerina and I have a second by Loya.
Yes, ma'am.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14, discussion and possible action on approval of resolution requesting a polling location within District 4 in Peñitas, Texas.
This is what I inadvertently spoke about earlier. We have a couple of board members that requested that the board consider a resolution discussing and requesting that Hidalgo County include a polling location at the library, which is not part of the current plan that has been submitted to the Secretary of State. Per AGUA sub rules, that matter was placed on the agenda, and there's now an opportunity for the board to discuss.
On this one, one of the requested to put it on there, I think, because of District 4 election, we should have a poll site in Peñitas. We've got close to 3,000 residents, and I think they should make it easier for them to actually come out and vote.
I agree with that. If the board doesn't have any other discussions, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 14.
Second.
I have a motion by Loya and I have a second by Tijerina. Anyone oppose?
All those in favor?
All in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 15, discussion and possible action on a variance request for use of easement Palmview Spur Lot Number 2 from Dagoberto Salinas.
Madam President, we have a request for variance by Mr. Dagoberto Salinas. He has a property where he has a water line that has been trenched within an easement that is owned by the district. And within that easement, there is an existing sewer service facility, a sewer line. Unfortunately, TCEQ regulations prohibit a water line from being within 9 feet of an existing sewer line. And so if the board was to approve this request for a variance, it would put the district in violation of the TCEQ regulations. There are a few exceptions to that, but I don't believe that any of those exceptions apply. We're certainly, there are photographs in the board packet depicting where this water line is. And despite, really nobody being at fault here and there just being an error made, it is our belief that that line cannot stay where it is, absent the landowner seeking a variance from TCEQ. We don't have the authority as the district to give a variance to TCEQ regulations, but he could certainly seek that from TCEQ, and if that was the case, then the district would consider it that.
How big is the easement?
15 feet?
And this, our pipeline or the sewer runs through the middle or through the?
Yes, the middle.
To the very middle.
The
Right.
middle,
Yeah.
It runs through the middle of our easement.
yes.
Apparently there was a discussion that apparently he was given a stake, go market, wherever think you want your meter. So it wasn't, I was an employee, did not go and measure. And that was his concern. Hey, you give me a stake, I went out there and I marked it. And I did the line, But I think further, we need to go out there and ourselves before any meter goes up. He invested about $1,800 to do that line, so. But that's what it is, I think he did it and he just was given like a stake to go measure where he wanted his meter. And he's the owner of all that property. It's
Right.
about 80 feet? How big is it?
It's a long driveway. It's basically
It's
an
in the
L shape. Yeah.
There's pictures. So, the issue here is he put his line within our easement.
And
Yes.
it's really
And
not
it's
so
not
much
really
of a
that
deal
much
that
that,
it's within
it's-
our easement, it's that it's
just that it's too
connection
close to the sewer
I mean,
line.
if for instance, we didn't have a sewer line
Be fine.
running down there, then there wouldn't be the
What if
TCEQ
we give
issue.
him
Now, you
time
might
so that
think
he
that,
can
I don't know
be
if we
able
want to let them in
to
our
talk to
easement anyway,
TCEQ?
but there wouldn't be a prohibition against it by TCEQ regulations.
Okay, and what's the regulation with TCEQ?
It
How many
is-
feet?
Yep.
9
Let me cite it to you.
I think you told me earlier, but
Good. Yeah. It is, the formal site is 30 Texas Administrative Code, section
I don't
290.44A. It's the rules and regulations for public water systems, and item E on that section says that new main service lines or laterals or subject to the following regulations, and it says, when new potable water distribution lines are constructed, they shall be installed no closer than 9 feet in all directions to wastewater collection facilities.
And he's within how many feet? 3 feet, 4 feet?
Approximately, yes.
Yeah. So if the easement's 15 feet, if it's down the middle, the farthest you could get, if you were outside, right on the line, would be 7.5 feet.
Who took these pictures? AGUA SUD, right? I see the AGUA SUD trucks out there.
Yes,
So we have been out there.
yes.
So Mr. Perez was saying what about that we didn't do something?
That was when the serv, that was at the beginning. That was when they requested a meter. I believe Mr. Salinas was given a stake where do you want the meter so that he can construct the line towards the home, the service line.
Okay, and then he needed to wait for us to give him the green light, or?
That's usually now, in this occasion now, there's a long easement that existed in the property. So that's usually the norm when you have a home or a commercial building.
So what I'm asking is, did he start this project without getting with us or getting a permission from us? That's what I'm asking.
He started the project, and then we went out there to verify that the service was ready for the meter connect.
That's when we found out.
That's when we found out. Yes.
Okay, and I guess what Mr. Petty is saying is from day one, we should have told him, this is our easement, you can't, or what's the
Well, I
issue?
mean, it's because apparently he was here, he just left a little while ago. And, he said, I've spent money, I mean,
That he should
apparently
have
he
been
knows
told.
it's his land, I wanna
Yeah,
put
no,
it the closest.
That he should have been told where to put it, or, or else,
Milo,
he lost
in
$1,800.
this situation, like, what have you seen in the past? Like, how can we remedy this issue, man? I don't know if that's a question for you or for our legal.
I haven't even seen the pictures yet.
Okay.
I don't know if it's parallel or perpendicular.
Parallel.
He would have had a survey.
It's a parallel.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a parallel
Matt, so
continuous
what's
service.
your recommendation? Should we
Well,
table it and discuss
it's
it?
my view that if you approve this variance, then we're in violation of TCQ. So I don't think that's an option.
What if,
can
what if
take
we
no
allow,
action.
like, I know that Lloyd just mentioned if we table, what if we table and allow the customer to at least attempt to contact TCEQ and see if he can get that variance from them, and then go from there? At least give him that option and not just totally deny him us trying
The
to.
variance.
I think we'd
A
be better off
variance.
just taking no action. I mean,
Or taking no
if we
action.
table it, then we gotta bring it back. It may not be months and months and months until he could, go to TC.
Right, okay.
So if we had a motion for no action on it, then we can bring this back
And then we can
up.
bring back the item. Yeah, and that way we can discuss with him and get a little bit
Yeah,
more
that sounds
information
good.
on it, and then we can move from there.
Make a motion to take no action on item 15.
Okay.
Second?
I have a motion by Loya, and I have a second by Tijerina. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 16, discussion and possible action regarding change order number 5 with More Will LLC for the Nad Bank's Palmview Yard Line Project Hookup Project.
Madam President, this is an item that we've had before since last time. Mr. Salinas and some staff members have had a chance to meet with Nad Bank regarding some potential options. It would be my suggestion that we take this executive session. I have some thoughts I'd like to communicate with the board.
Okay, I would need a motion to move item number 16 into executive.
Motion.
I have a motion by Loya.
Second the motion.
I have a second by Diaz. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 17, discussion and possible action authorizing general manager and legal counsel to negotiate contract with Hidalgo County for release of easements relating to Liberty Road widening project.
Madam President, the Hidalgo County is doing a road widening project. We're in the process of negotiating their acquisition of the easements that we have in what would be the new expanded highway or roadway. We have reached a tentative agreement with Hidalgo County to extend our deadlines to appeal the award that was issued by Hidalgo County, and everybody's agreed to that because there's still another property that we're It hasn't been completed yet. We don't know for certain if water lines have got to be relocated. We put this item, I requested that this item be on the agenda so we could let the board know that we're in the process of handling this. Any settlement we have with Hidalgo County will come back to the board. All we're asking in this particular item is to give Roberto Salinas and legal counsel the right to meet with Hidalgo County, try to come to what we think would be a reasonable resolution, and then present it to the board. It could save a lot of attorney's fees by not having to answer and file these appeals.
Okay, so what's pending? I don't really get the issue. I know about the easements, right, but.
So basically, we're looking here at the Liberty Road winding phase 2, and this
Okay.
is from 3 Mile Line to 7 Mile Line.
Yes, sir.
So there are several easements that have been brought to our attention that we need to, I guess, negotiate a price in order for us to release that easement.
Okay.
In some of those easements, there's existing water lines. So we need to look at the cost for relocating those water lines so that we can come into an agreement for a final amount that we think is worthwhile removing the line or relocating the line and selling that easement.
And how many are pending?
Right now, we have 4 that are pending, and we need to they're still looking into possible more easements that will need to be released from us.
Are they gonna be giving us a new easement?
We're looking into that. Probably the way it works, we usually release the easement and they'll grant us access or permission to go in, through their right of way.
But in case the road expands again, we're gonna have to pay, we cannot get an easement?
Well, they've got to pay us.
Yeah,
the
but
easement.
for the additional easement for us.
Well, if we need to relocate the water lines.
Yes.
And so we don't know that right now. That's part of what we don't know right now, is whether or not they have to be relocated, where they'd be relocated to. But if they do have to be relocated,
And the
yes, we
future.
would absolutely need an easement.
Yeah, because
from
I know
them
it's
in the
gonna
past.
expand to, 5 lanes later on. Peñitas is growing like every other city. And we need to make sure, we had an easement, we just needed another easement. Because it happened to me that Texas bought a piece of property from me, but they did not buy additional easement. Now, the Sherry Land, okay, I want an easement now. And what I do, they cannot give me water until I get another easement. So I'm gonna have to give them that easement,
Okay,
which I didn't get paid for.
okay.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You already had an easement, you just want another easement.
And that issue will be addressed as we
Sure.
kind of go forward and get to that point.
You just want to
Yeah.
replace, we don't wanna make money, we just want
Yeah, right.
our lines and an easement.
Sounds good. So, like I said, all we're asking for is just number one, this is kind of an informational.
We don't wanna stop the project,
Exactly,
No.
right.
but we wanna get paid.
And we just think it'd be helpful to give us that authority to sit down and.
Motion to approve item 17.
Okay, I have a motion by
Second.
Loya. I have a second by Rodriguez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 18, General Manager's Report, 18A, August financials.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, here with us I have Mr. Park Naik, which will give us a summary of the August financials.
Good evening, Madam President, board members. As it said, financials of revenue and expenses as of August 31st, which will be 2/3 of the year, which could be 66% of our budget. As we can see in the financial that our revenues are upward trend towards 70%. So we are like a 4% excessive revenue as of 66% forecast, and our expenses are 66% actual versus forecasted. So we are in a straight line in that matter.
Any questions?
I'm good.
Item-
Thank you, Park.
Thank you very much. Number 19, District Engineers Report. Item A, NatBank Technical Assistance Agreement Sewer Hookups.
Good evening, Milo Salinas with M2 Engineering again for the District Engineers Report. For the NatBank Technical Assistance Agreement project, so far they've completed 1,560 service lines. Out of those, 1,485 are connected and eligible to be billed. And out of those, 1,396 septic tanks have been pumped and the spoil has been hauled away. And out of the 1,396, 1,388 have been fully decommissioned and filled with sand. I'd say the project is close to 75 to 80% complete. Any questions?
We're just pending the SureTech site, right?
Yes.
OG SureTech site.
And item B, we don't have a status compared to last month. And item C, Havana Water Treatment Plant Improvements Project. That project right now, we're still working on the EID and waiting on a response from the Army Corps of Engineers. We did send an email last week and got a response from the reviewer. He had jury duty, and so we're expecting to hopefully get a response within the next week or so. Item D, Mendiola Water Storage Tank Project. The project engineers, Meldon and Hunt, have completed a punch list. They've provided the punch list to the design builders, and we're expecting to get a walkthrough scheduled this week. They don't fully agree with each other in regards to the punch list, so that's what we're going to discuss during the week and do a walkthrough and then go from there.
Did you actually see the punch list?
Yes.
Was it copy and paste from the original?
It's quite a long list, very comparable to
I got several
the
calls
last
on
one.
that,
And so I think that's why the best thing would be to just all meet on site, do a walkthrough, and they have basically where a checkbox next to each item on whether it's been completed or not. And so I think the best thing to do, in my opinion, would be to do a walkthrough with AGUA staff and the design building team, so that we can go from there and start checking off the items that have been completed and the items that we feel are not completed or that Meldon Hunt is not willing to sign off on. So that's what it all boils down to, is that
When is that walkthrough?
what I've been telling them is what I expect as the project manager is to receive from Meldon Hunt either this was completed as per plans and specifications, and if not, okay, this was deviated in a certain way. So that's what we need to go through. It's a long list, so I think that's what needs to happen, in my opinion.
Okay. When is that walkthrough scheduled for this week?
Well,
You have a date?
we received an email requesting a walkthrough, but we haven't scheduled it yet. And what I've been discussing with Robert is that hopefully maybe like on Thursday is what we're thinking, but I need to verify with the rest that if it's everyone's schedule.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 20, executive session. As provided by Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071-551.091, the Board of Directors may convene in closed executive session to deliberate, discuss, or consult regarding the matters listed below, and on proper motion and approval, any of the items set forth above. Item A, cause number C 3353-20-I, SMB Infrastructure versus AGUA Special Utility District in District Court of Hidalgo County, Texas, 398th Judicial District. Item number B, Texas Water Development Board, Palmview Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project. Item C, Performance Services Inc. litigation. Item D, Jimmy Klosner and Sons liquidated damages for Palmview wastewater collection system phase 1, lift stations A2, F, G, and G7. That's project 3. And then item number E, change order number 5 with Moreville LLC for NatBank Palmview Yard Line Project hookup project. Item F, capital improvement plan and new water plant. And then we moved item number 16 into executive, and that's the discussion and possible action regarding change order number 5 with Moreville LLC for the NatBank Palmview Yard Line Project hookup project. So I need a motion to go into executive at 6:37 p.m.
I make a motion to move into executive at 6:37 p.m.
So I have a motion by Diaz, and I have a second by Rodriguez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.